सहना ववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So Bhagavad Gita is a text which teaches you an establishment of dharma, what is the right thing to be done. And this right thing to be done is universal. Everybody knows what is the right thing to be done. The only problem is when we are educated by the so-called minds of the society in its practical mode, we also learn what is the wrong thing to be done, and it becomes a shortcut. So people start taking that shortcut out without thinking about what they are compromising. So each one of us, when we start a journey, we always follow that line of Bible which we says that each one of us is selling our own Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Some payment is there, therefore conscience goes away, godliness goes away, disappear. The faith in the good disappears, and the faith in the so-called practicality of life comes up. So the Bhagavad Gita is a text which teaches each one what is the right thing to be done. So the first chapter is Arjuna's problem, dilemma. Vishada Yoga is agitated. I don't want to fight. And he's saying why we should not fight according to his own agitated reasons, where the intellect is not available and the mind is scot-free. It's just running and thinking on its own. Chapter 2, Krishna starts his sermon, and right in between he talks Karmanyevadikaraste. And after that, Arjuna asks this brilliant question. Arjuna Vacha Sthita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha. What is the significance of a spiritual person? How does one recognize? How do I know that I have become a Sthita Prajna? Prajna, steady. Sthita is steady. Prajna, knowledge. So one who has got steady knowledge, irrespective of whatever comes from the world, their stance in the world is like a lighthouse standing. Nothing happens to it, irrespective of all the waves coming and thrashing it. This state, how does one reach? How do I know I am there? Unless we have this goal in life of perfection, we will not aim for it. We need to have a perfect goal in life. And then you go on for that. You look down and say what all you can do to perfect yourself at every level. So physical level, you may not reach perfection. Emotionally, you may not reach perfection, or intellectually, you may not reach a perfect end of logical thinking. But you be the best version, or we should become the best version of what we can be in this lifetime. That's what this image of Sthita Prajna is required. So what is his nature? Sthita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha. What is his nature? Sthita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadhim Kim Prabhasheta. What is the nature of this person who is established in God consciousness? See, all these are big words, God consciousness, realization. How does this person speak? Kim Prabhasheta, Kim Asita. How does he sit? Vrajeta Kim. How does he walk? So the first verse which Krishna says as an answer, we did it last time. Bhagavanu Vacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan. What is this person's nature? From within, he has given up all the desires from the mind. If we So Bhagavad Gita or any scriptures, whenever you're listening to any Mahatma, it should always focus on reference to context. Don't take any one passage and say, this is what he said. You may misunderstand it. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan. If you take this one line, it means giving up all the desires. And if you focus on that, you will be one agitated person. I'm trying to give up all the desired. I'm trying to become a better person. But sir, the world does not allow it. It is not so-called practical. This lacuna will always be there until it is supplemented by the second half. Atmanye atmana tushtaha. Being contented with oneself. What does that mean? I have understood who I am. I have understood that who I am, and I am a grandmother or a grandfather or a husband or a wife, and I am playing with my child. What is the understanding? I am playing Ludo with my child. I am playing, what's it called? That money game, Monopoly with my child. And the child is sitting there and the grandfather and the grandmother is sitting this side, and we are all playing, and they have a bank by the side. And the child rolls the dice and he puts 7 and he gets some station, some city, and he gets so excited to buy that city because you get rent. Vagara. So he is excited and you are also excited for him. You love his smile, you love his love, you love his emotions when you're playing, but externally, you don't show it. Externally, you act irritated. You say, oh my God, I wanted this. What nonsense is this? Every time this happens, I'm not that lucky. You give me your side of the dice, you're doing something wrong. And out of fun by the side of the bank, you may just take your hand and remove a note also of say 1 lakh rupee or something. They have the paper money. You remove it casually as if the other person is not supposed to see, but he should see. Then he sees and he starts shouting, Dada, you are cheating, you are cheating. I said, no, I didn't cheat. I didn't do that. By mistake. All that you are playing, you are having fun. Ultimately, the parents of the child come and say, okay, mom, we are going and we need to leave now. Chalo, papa, dada ko bye-bye bolo, dadi ko bye-bye bolo. And as soon as the child leaves, after that, you continue playing the game. Who's going to win? You fold it and then you say, time well spent. So what was Atmanye Atmana Tushtaha? Contented to be with the child. Winning and losing does not matter. Can we imagine or can we understand this when we are playing the game of life? And when you are with your own relationships, wherever you are in the world, you play the game and you play it to perfection. You give each and every emotion that is required to be given by you. But at the end, you should have the strength, be contented within to shrug your shoulders and say, it's all right. Doesn't matter. None of this is permanent. So why? This is Atmanye Atma. You don't want anything after that. You're completely peaceful from within. There was this great master who was sitting in his hut, small hut, thatched hut with just one window. And he's considered to be a great bhakta. So the God came, Narayana came before him and said, you have been so devoted, you have been so nice, and your life is led. It's an example. I want to give you a boon. So he looks at the God and says, I don't want any boon. No, you have to ask. I have come all the way. So you ask a boon. He looks around the house. There is hardly anything except a pot and maybe a glass of water, a jug of water. He says, no, really, I have everything. No, you have to ask. And then his eyes light up because he's sitting like this. His legs are stretched. One leg, he's got this disease, elephantiasis. It's fat, So he looks at that leg and he smiles. He says, I know what to ask. So the God also understands. I must be asking for the cure for this leg. He says, disease the shift my diseased leg from right to left. That's it. From here to there, shift it. Not even saying, please remove the pain. Majority of people go to temples in church and please do this, please do that, please do this. Everywhere people are asking, asking and asking. This person doesn't want to ask anything. Completely contented. पूरा है, in Hindi में राम तीर्था says this, पूरा है वही मर्द जो हर हाल में खुश है, बाजार में, खेतों में, चौपाल में खुश है. घर यार की मर्जी रही तो घर छोड़ के बैठो, घर बार छुड़ाया तो उसे छोड़ के बैठो. अगर गदड़ी जो उड़ाई, गदड़ी मतलब टोन क्लोथ्स का शॉल, इफ वो उड़ाई, गदड़ी जो उड़ाई तो उसे ओढ़ के बैठो. और अगर किसी ने शॉल उड़ाया तो उस शॉल में खुश है. पूरा है वही मर्द जो हलहा. दिस इज आत्मन्ये आत्मना तुष्टः. Nothing agitates. In Bhaja Govindam, this is beautiful verse. Yoga rato va, bhoga rato va, sanga rato va, sanga vihinaha. Whether such a person is in yoga, practicing spiritual disciplines, or whether such a person is in bhoga, enjoying or seeming like enjoying the contacts of the world. Yoga rato va, bhoga rato va, sanga rato va, whether he is in company, he or she, anybody. Whether they are, that person is company of somebody or sangha vihina, nobody is there. Yasya brahmani, they are not alone. There is a difference between one person being alone and one person being in solitude. When you use the word being alone, it determines that the world does not want you, or the world is not there with you to cater to your needs. When you say solitude, it's you have chosen to be mentally like that. There's no disturbance. Yoga ratova, bhoga ratova, sanga ratova, sanga vihina. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandati. That person is happy, happy, happy. Who has understood who he is. Swami Ramtirtha puts it beautifully. Your only mission in life is to be self-sufficient, self-poised, and self-pleased. Khush raho yaar. Be happy. My happiness is easy. It is in my hand. It is in nobody else's hand. But when we start using and thinking about what other person is thinking about you, that's where all the happiness dissolves. So this contented with it completely. No problem at all. Such a prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanne atmana. That person is called sthita prajna. Now we move on to the next verse. Dukkheshvanu, shall I chant? Dukkheshvanu dvigna manaha sukheshu vigata spriha vitaraga bhaya krodha Sthitadhir muni ruchyate. So the first Prajahati Yada Kaman was what was his nature. Now he is explaining Kim Asita. How does a person sit? What goes on within him when he or she is not contacting the world? This is what happens. Dukkheshvanu. He whose mind is not agitated by sorrow, or nor excited by joy. I've never understood this. Why not excited by joy? Happiness is normal, right? We should all enjoy what is joyful. The problem is if that joyfulness or if that happiness is dependent on something external, then that itself can be the cause of my sorrow. Anything dependent. So Shastras are focusing on, please don't be dependent on the external objects or world. So when the sadness, dukkhesh, when sadness comes, they are not touched by sadness. Why? They know the logic and reason of why something went wrong. Why did something go wrong? There was a problem. until that problem was sorted out, this problem will continue. You sort it out, it will go. As soon as you understand the solution to the problem disappears. Therefore, they are never feeling sorry about it, including death. Everything is temporary in nature, including my own mind, every aspect. In this temporariness, why should I be so foolish to expect a permanent situation? It's ridiculous. So they know this. Therefore, when sorrow comes, they are not touched by it, because the next experience may bring joy. Then the next experience comes, suddenly you get a lottery, again you are not. It's okay. People will come, people will go, but I will go forever. So they are not excited other way. Dukkheshvanu dvigna manaha sukheshu vigata sprahaha. So neither sadness, he whose mind is not agitated by sorrow, nor excited by joy. Why? Dukkheshvanu dvigna manaha sukheshu vigata. Both sorrow and joy don't touch, because both of them are the criteria of the mind. A mind is defined as full of emotions, moods, impulses, likes and dislikes. So when the mind is functioning on likes and dislikes, that's where it gets joy and sorrow. I am contacting things and people that I like. Therefore, I am happy. When people come, situations come, which I don't like, then I am sorrowful. Both these are functions of life, likes and dislikes. But a spiritual person doesn't function on his own likes and dislikes. They just continue what needs to be done, they do it. So, dukkheshvanu dvigna manaha sukheshu vigata vita raga bhaya krodaha. What happened? He is given up, he is destroyed. Vita. What he is destroyed? Raga, desire. This is what I desire in my life. Bhaya, fear, and krodha, anger. So, dukkheshvanu dvigna manaha sukheshu vigataspra vita raga. So, when the desire comes, from that desire comes fear of losing something, as well as anger if the desire is not fulfilled. These two things come together. So either the desire, will cover this very, very specifically in the further verses 62 and 63. I'm just touching this here. So when the desire is there, the desire fulfilled gets fear at the end, afraid that I may lose this. And when it is not fulfilled, I am angry at some agency, saying that it is because of him or her that so and so thing happened. Whenever desire is there, these two possibilities are always there. Therefore, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodaha. This person who is realized has given up, destroyed Raga, desire, as well as both these modifications of the desire, fear as well as anger. Raga Bhaya Krodaha. Sthitadhir Muni Ruchyate. Such a Muni, such a sage person, he is become Sthita Dhi. Sthita, steady. Dhi, intellect. Intellect has become completely steady. That means now whatever he has understood of life, nothing in the world can shake it. This is called conviction. When we have conviction within us of this is the way to live a life, then whatever powers come in the world to say, no, this is not practical, it doesn't make sense, they will just not move from there. They know what it is, how to go about it. So, Sthita Dhir, Muni ruchyate, such a person. And the same person, the next verse is also covered, therefore we have sent it. Yas sarvatrana bhi sneha tat tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati na dveshtihi tasya prajna pratisthita. Yes, sarvatrana bhi. So when you are listening to this, dukheshvanu dvigna manaha, when he doesn't feel really sorrowful when sad things happen, he doesn't feel really happy when joyful things happen. Basically, is contented in himself and is restricted all the desires, therefore no further modifications affect him. When you just listen to this, you feel it's very easy for these Mahatmas not to get agitated, because उन लोग interact ही कितना करते हैं. They don't interact with people. They just sit there. They hardly listen to anybody. Majority of the Mahatmas are not even married. They don't even have children. So they don't know anything about being a Grahastha and knowing the struggles of a Grahastha, of a husband or a wife, and the roles they perform in their life. They have no idea. So it's very easy for these people to talk and give advices to everybody. Don't get agitated, don't get agitated, don't get agitated. But they never experience any agitation because they don't interact at all. It is like a tamasic person who's sitting on the sofa and constantly watching television. The mother comes, especially if the child is a Brahmin boy, the mother comes and supplies coffee in the early morning. It used to happen to me, so I'm just talking. We used to see cricket match, Australia-India cricket match, test matches at that time. IPLs were not there. So in the test matches, we used to just lie down. Mom used to come and give us coffee. Then the breakfast would be served there. Then lunch would be served there, and the lunch will coincide according to their lunch, the cricketers' lunch. So the lunch will be there. Then automatically by 5 o'clock, everything is okay. Now at that time, if somebody comes and says, excuse me, are you agitated? The answer is no. I am not agitated. How can you be agitated when you are not performing? When you are not acting at all, how are you getting agitated? So such a person, you push that person and say, listen, from tomorrow, no servants in the house. All the housework you are doing. Then the agitation will come. Then the stress point, because you have pushed that person from tamas to rajas. So this person talking, no, I will not feel sadness. I will not feel happiness because I'm completely controlling all the desires. That means this person must not do anything. No. Yes, sarvatrana. They are roaming everywhere. That is the reason the Bhagavad Gita is being taught, because it's Krishna. The Ramayana is taught because it is Rama. They were not sitting in one place and saying, Om, Om, and meditation. You understand? Sitting under a tree and meditating doesn't make everybody a Buddha. But a lot of Buddhas are there. So the focus is never there. Focus is work. Because of any activity in the name of spirituality, of I want to find Brahman, I want to find Brahman, the productivity of this country has gone down. The productivity, Swami Ram Tirtha, when he went to America, he said, India talks Vedanta. You live Vedanta. He went to Japan, he said the same thing. India talks Vedanta, you live Vedanta. It's about time we lived it. Our body should function 24/7, following the law of dynamics. And our mind should be silent and calm, following the law of static. Mind should be calm, body should function. Now you see, majority of people, body is not functioning and mind is running everywhere. This person is moving everywhere. Yes, sarvatrana bhi. But how he is moving? He is moving without attachment. There is no attachment. He who is everywhere without attachment. Abhisneha tat tat. So I am moving. I'm just giving an example. A realized person is moving in the world, meeting everybody without getting attached to anybody or any action or any situation. Correct? Yes, sarvatrana bhisneha tat tat. Bye bye. Then when he is moving around in the world, naturally he is going to be met with various situations in life. Tat tat prapya. So it's obtained. I don't obtain. I don't have a fascination to become happy or fascination to be sad. It comes. Since I am interacting with the world, situations happen. Therefore, shubha, something which is good, ashubha, something which is not good, it naturally comes. Tat tat prapya shubha shubham. Na abhinandati na dveshti. Even while doing that, na abhinandati, I don't jump with joy. Na dveshti, I sink in sorrow. This is external behavior. I'm meeting everybody, not attached. Whatever comes in my life, good or bad, I don't react to it accordingly. Na abhinandati na dveshti tasya, then tasya prajna pratishtita. Such a person's attitude, when it becomes, he so-called is called a self-realized person. All this looks very difficult. It is not difficult. Seriously saying, focus on one day at a time. Whatever is the date today, today is 14th, I think so, 14th, 15th of October 2020. From today onwards, backwards, I will not think. I'll do this exercise only for today till night, okay? Homework for everybody. Today, from this today backwards, I will not think anything. I will focus on just living this today. What I can do today for the best of my capacity. When you reach this state, you would have understood 0.01% of what a self-realized person lives his life. Thank you very much.